5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Minister, thank you and forgive me.
Good morning. I'm here to announce that government will be enacting regulations that will lower the minimum annual rental value at which non-Bermudians and non-permanent residents, referred to as restricted persons, may purchase residential property from $153,000 to $126,000. Such action will help stimulate economic activity at the higher end of the property market in Bermuda, thus helping with Bermuda's overall balance of payments in future sales. This follows on from the November 2013 speech from the throne, whereby the Ministry of Economic Development committed to working with the Ministry of Home Affairs to move forward with proposals to improve property market conditions. The motivating factor behind this decision is the reduction of the value of the property sector in recent years and the corresponding reduction of annual renter values, or ARVs, across the board in Bermuda. The reduction came about during the preparation of the 2015 draft valuation list, which reflects an analysis of rental information across Bermuda. The draft list confirms the widely held opinion of many in the property sector and in the community that rental values in the open market have generally fallen from the valuation date of December 31st, 2009 for the previous 2009 valuation list and July 1st, 2014, which is the valuation date for the valuation units in the current 2015 draft valuation list. Now that the Department of Land Valuation has finalized the new valuation list, which takes effect retroactively from 1st of January 2016, the new list has lowered ARVs, which will require an adjustment to the ARV threshold for residential property for restricted persons. As you may recall, the ARV at which restricted persons may purchase residential properties reduced last year to $153,000. With the fall in housing prices leading to a fall in ARVs being announced, as I have just outlined, the minimum needs to be adjusted in order to capture the same group of properties which were previously available to restricted persons. If the ministry does not act, then the economic stimulus provided by the reduction from last year will be reversed. This change will be to ensure that we're able to maintain efforts to save the floundering real estate market in Bermuda. I wish to remind the public that Part 6 of the Bermuda Immigration Protection Act 1956 contains provisions aimed at protecting land in Bermuda for Bermudians. That part also contains robust anti-fronting provisions which prevent individuals from using trust arrangements to circumvent the protections of the Act. Let me emphasize that these provisions will remain unaffected. Restricted persons will continue to require the permission of the minister to purchase and hold land in Bermuda, and the total acreage of land which may be held by restricted persons will not change and will remain 2,500 acres. The Act only allows the most expensive properties in Bermuda to be bought by restricted persons. The ARV is the threshold for these properties. As I stated last year, liberalizing real estate for PRCs and other non-Bermudians can be a sensitive topic for most Bermudians. But let me stress that our motivation in bringing this legislation forward is to stimulate a waning real estate market. Many of us know of at least one property that remains empty. Some of us may even be in the unfortunate position of being unable to sell such property ourselves. It is clear to the ministry that it is Bermudians who are primarily hurt by a real estate market which is not as robust as it can be. There are many Bermudians with property to sell, but no one wants to buy. As a result, many Bermudians have seen the value of their investments plummet. Government is dedicated to helping these individuals. This legislative change will continue our efforts to ease their burden a bit by maintaining our property market in a bid to attract more foreign investment to these shores. By welcoming foreign investors and by attracting more people to our shores, we can achieve the kind of recovery that grows jobs and incomes for Bermudians. I do not need to explain how in recent years Bermuda had become less attractive for foreign investment and how we paid the price in jobs, business closures, lost rents, and lost confidence. The current government has been hard at work to change that, to make Bermuda a more attractive place to do business with less red tape and more red carpet. This set of regulations is a part of Bermuda's multi-pronged strategy to put place conditions that lead to job creation. Each transaction involving the sale of a property to a non-Bermudian leads to government revenue, stamp duty of the purchase, the landholding charge of the property, and the license application fee. Such a transaction involves a net improvement to our balance of payments as funds are transferred from a non-Bermudian to a Bermudian seller to government and to various support services such as banking and legal. I can report that when high net worth non-Bermudian purchasers acquire property in Bermuda, they almost always then expend considerable funds in the renovation of the property in order to have it suit their requirements. In certain cases, the renovation costs have almost matched or exceeded the initial purchase price itself based on our research. This contributes to an economic multiplier effect and feeds back into our economy through increased government revenue by way of import duties and payroll tax on construction, landscaping, and housekeeping workers. All of this is in aid of government's efforts to foster job creation. This is and will continue to be the singular focus of the government. I'd like to make the point again that this change is simply to maintain the status quo. The numbers of properties will be retained that are available for purchase by non-Bermudians based on the lowering of the ARV numbers pursuant to our changes last year. So I have an answer questions.
Sure. Can you say how much of the 2,500 acres that is set aside, well, not set aside, but that can be purchased by non-residents has been?
I can get those figures to you. We have that. I don't have those numbers in front of me, but it's well beneath the 2,500. The 2,500 acres was changed by the previous government from 2,000 to 2,500 acres about 5 years ago, and we obviously not making any changes to that.
No further questions. Thank you, Minister. Thank you, media.